Any artist of any genre that needs a stage, K-Poppin' awaits every Thursday with our Tiniest Stage. And today we have a very special guest. He's got some silky smooth vocals with some great music to heal you anytime you listen to it. We have none other than 퍼플크립티드 in the studio. Hello, 안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
Please introduce yourself. 인사 부탁드릴게요.
네, hello, this is 퍼플크립티드. Absolutely fantastic to be here in this Korea's #1 top broadcast platform, ARIRANG TV. Yeah, I'm truly excited for the time today, and nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so he does speak English. No, because as we were getting into the studio, I was like, if you feel a little uncomfortable speaking English, you don't have to. But yeah, just do whatever you need to do for today. So I heard a little bit of a rumor that this is actually like your first ever broadcast. Is this true?
Yes, it is true, and I'm super nervous, as you can see. Yeah, it's my first time.
Well, okay, so just think of this as kind of just having coffee and talking about your music today, because that's mainly what we're going to be focusing on anyways. So because we are meeting you for the very first time here on our Tiniest Stage, I want to kind of go through kind of like your own mini like profile of like, you know, who you are as a person. So let's start off with your stage name. How did you come up with your stage name?
Well, I quite get this question a lot.
Obviously. Well, because it's a really cool name.
What's purple cryptid?
Right.
I mean, as you know, purple is a color that's blended with red and blue, which is the total opposite color of each other. And then cryptid is in Korean translated to 미확인 동물, so meaning an unclassified creature. So when I crafted the stage name, I obviously try to aim to encompass the wide spectrum of music, and I wanted to try to master all different kind of genres. But I mean, thinking now, I was kind of too ambitious, I'll say.
No, I feel that it's a perfect name for you. And one thing about it is, I know that in your career, a lot of people, especially in Korea, might be like, oh, it's a really hard name to remember. In my personal opinion, it's not, because once you hear it, it's really hard to forget, which is a good thing for an artist.
Well, thank you.
And it's very memorable. It's very memorable. I get this question whenever I speak Korean. These days, even when I speak English. So if you don't mind me asking, where did you pick up English? Did you live overseas or?
I used to live in Japan. I used to go to international school there when I was very young. So I think that's where I got the state accent, I guess. But I mean, I'm not a native speaker because I'm like a reverse version of 교포. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, cause he's like, I'm not a native. Excuse me, speaking totally in English.
Like, I mean, there will be some moments that you can notice that the way of me speaking English is kind of unusual.
No, it's fine. You're doing fine. You're doing. I was gonna assume that you were from the U.S. at some point,
no.
but okay. So you went to the international schools in Japan are doing something right. Okay, so since we are going to focus more on you as an artist for today, a lot of times when I ask like our idol artists when they wanted to become a singer, a lot of them pinpoint a time when they were a young child watching like music programs, wanting to be like a certain artist. But I've noticed for singer-songwriters, it's a little different. Some of them might just have had music as a hobby, and then they realize, like, you know, in high school, because they have to prepare for college, what am I going to do for college? And then they just kind of go down that route of music to kind of fall back on something that they feel a little bit more comfortable with. So for you as an artist, when was your kind of like, I don't know, like a light bulb eureka moment of like, okay, this is not just like something that I do for fun. This is something I really want to do as a career.
Well, I always had that passion of music ever since I was very young, but it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know why it becomes so dramatic. I imagine myself lying on the deathbed. And
don't worry, I do those morbid thoughts as well. So yeah, okay.
And I was able to feel that I was about to pass away like in 10 minutes. And then I imagined myself not taking the path of music, right? And then the regret that I felt really hit me hard.
Wow.
And then ever since that, I was like, oh, I need to take music seriously.
Wow.
And that's probably like my first moment that really hit me hard to just focus on music.
Really focus on music. Okay, so I really admire singer-songwriters is because I myself tried to learn how to create music. And I don't have the patience for it. I feel like, and I don't think I have the creativity. I think I'm definitely somebody who's like, if I work as a team and you give me a part to do, I think I might be able to bring up that creativity. But if I want to do something like from scratch, I think that I don't have the patience, or I didn't have the patience when I started. But when you had that morbid thought of that like future of like regretting music, what was that first thing you did? Did you go out and buy the computer programs? Did you set up a studio? Did you pull out your guitar? What did you do in that process?
I first tried to elaborate all the songs that I wrote. And then while listening to it, I was like, oh, I need a producer to actually make this to a professional level. And I seek for a producer, which I met YSW. He's my closest bro. And that was like the first step that I did.
Okay.
And then I really kind of elevated myself by trying to be as well as him. So
okay. So let's kind of dive into your creativity process. I know that in the interviews that I've done, some artists, they treat it like a 9 to 5. They just go to the studio, they work, and then they go home. Some people are like, I'm going to wait until I need to work. Like, I need to release an album. I want to release an album. So they'll push themselves to like make a schedule and do that. Or some people just wait until the eureka, I'm inspired moment, and then they like lock themselves in the studio. So how does the creative process come out for you?
I wish that happens 9 to 5. like a 직장인, 출근하자마자
right, you can write
ding, something like that. Right? But I mean, I think whenever I get some 영감, with some inspiration, so randomly.
So we go very randomly.
Yeah.
So where do you get your inspiration for the most part?
I take notes. I pretty much take a lot of notes, and then I get a lot of inspiration from my daily life.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I pretty much try to write all my lyrics based on my own experience, because I kind of feel like people are all different, but people are all the same at all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think like my experience could really relate to them also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to your official debut. This was 2020?
2020.
Not the best timing.
Pandemic.
Right. So how did that debut process happen? Because I feel that, for like an idol company, we've seen so many like documentaries and behind the scenes stuff about showing the process. Like, they become a trainee and then they record, and then the company says, okay, we're going to debut this date. And then like they get everything together. But for like singer-songwriters, I feel that sometimes it's completely in the hands of the singer-songwriter. Sometimes it's in the hands of the production team that they're working with. How did the debut ball start rolling?
As I told you, I met this producer, YSW, and then pretty much that was the day one of making that debut album. So it was like that. I didn't like put extra work to just have another day to go to the studio or something, but it just happened naturally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you guys come up with the releases and stuff like that? And we're going to get into your most recent album too, but I know that each artist, when they release a single, when they release an EP, a mini, or like a full-length album, especially for singer-songwriters, they want to tell a story. So sometimes they insist you listen to it from start to finish. Sometimes it's like, hey, you can just listen to whatever song. It's just, any song is fine. It's just, we just decided on that. So as you were getting ready for your debut and the EP then, was there a process of like, okay, I have 10 songs. Do I make it one? Or was it just like one particular song that you just kind of build off of to create the debut track?
It's been a while, to be honest. From the scratch, I think I was just randomly making some music. So probably I had 10 songs and then let's just release it, because at that time I wasn't having like that artistic mind. So I made 10 songs, so I wanted to release them all.
Right. I don't care what order, just let's release music.
Now it's kind of different. If I have 10 songs and I think that five of them are bad, I'm not going to release it, even though I put a lot of effort to it. But at that time, I wasn't having that artistic mind. I wanted to be really efficient, right? I'm an ENTJ, so efficiency matters.
So you're a J.
Yeah.
Okay.
효율성, something like that, right? So it was like that, yeah.
Okay. So the process of choosing songs now, because you said that now you're obviously going to be taking a little bit of a different perspective. How many songs have you written completely finished? You know, you've got the melody line. It's just like before it even gets mixed. You've got the full song, chorus, everything. And you're just like, no.
Over 30, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Over 30.
What do you do with those songs?
Some of them, my friends have it. And then they ask me, why are you not releasing it or something like that? But I mean, I don't want to be like ashamed like 2 years later after a release, because I know that this song won't make it.
Okay.
Right? Or it will sound kind of weird when I listen like 2 years later. So, I mean, I don't want to regret that. I released the song, even though I knew it at that time. Yeah, so that's like a strong motivation that I do release.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So what about this? Let's say, you so happen to like run into, I don't know, like Jungkook of BTS. He listens to one of your songs that you feel that you for now have it in the trash bin, that you're like, I'm never gonna release. I don't want to release these. Like, they're gonna stay in my Pandora box. They're never gonna come out. But he's like, yo, I love this song. Like,
why are you asking this?
It's a what if question. Think big, because I mean, you might think that the song is kind of, because it might not be for you. You might have created it, but you might think, yeah, like for me, 2 years from now, I think I might cringe thinking of this song. But what if another artist really likes the song? Would you be willing to give it to them?
If it's BTS, I mean, I'll be like, okay, I released this and please listen to this song. I'll be like that maybe. If it's BTS, I mean, why would I worry?
Exactly, of course. Okay, but I mean, just because I feel that a lot of times when I meet singer-songwriters, most of them do write for themselves, but along the lines, like there are a lot of songs that they could give to other artists. The reason I say this is because Patsy Cline, a really famous country singer, her song "I Will Always Love You" made mega hits after giving it to Whitney Houston, even though she already recorded it. So that's why I wanted to say, like, it might not have fit you like at that time as an artist, but it could be really helpful for you and another artist later down the line.
Yeah.
You never know. Okay. I've been looking at a lot of the jacket covers of the album covers of all of the albums you've released. And I wanted to ask, did you draw them yourself? Because they're very artistically, and they're very beautiful.
Thank you.
So how did you kind of put those together? Are those your ideas or?
Yeah, those are my ideas, and the ideas that from YSW, the producer that I co-write songs with. So me and my producer pretty much have those ideas, and really specifically gives those ideas to the 작가님들.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the process.
That's the process, how you guys come out with them? Oh, wow. So as you create a song, you did say you take a lot of notes, but if you were to just like say after today's show, go into the studio and start writing with your producer, where would you start? Do you start with the melody line? Do you start with the title? Do you start with the lyric? Do you start with a beat? Do a chord organization? Where do you start?
It really depends on how I feel.
Oh.
Yeah, like sometimes I want to write about this song, then I just write the lyrics from scratch, and then I try to find some melodies and some beats that could fit in, or I just look for amazing beats first and then write songs. So it kind of depends. Yeah.
Okay, it kind of depends. All right. So you are here, and as we're talking, I've been noticing that he's starting to not be too nervous as before, and I'm hoping that he's going to relax just a little bit more, because we do get a chance to hear a live track. In this next live track, since you have so much great things to talk about your songs, I want to see what Under the Blue Sky is, what kind of song it is, the creative process of how this song was born.
Speaking in Korean, 푸른빛 아래서라는 곡은 단순히 말해서 일단은 여행을 갈 때 가장 설레는 순간이 언제냐고 물어보면 저는 딱 그 출발하는 그 시점이라고 생각을 하거든요. 그때가 제일 설레고 그 다음에 뭐 연애나 대학교 생활이나 다 로망이라고 하면은 그 처음 순간이 가장 대변하는 부분이 많잖아요.
그쵸.
그래서 그런 설렘을 조금 이 곡에다가 담고 싶었어요. 이 앨범의 첫 번째 곡이기도 하고요. 네, 그래서 그 여행지로 출발하는 그런 감성.
출발에 좀 Oh,
네.
okay. Well, I'm glad you said that in Korean because I'm actually going to give you time to like have some water, have some coffee, get ready for the live performance to breathe a little bit. All right. So, 푸른 빛 아래서 or Under the Blue Sky is a song that he was able to create because he always says that if anybody asks him, what's the most exciting part of a trip? He says, when you first leave. And so he always thinks like that first fluttery feeling of when you start getting into a relationship or starting school or the start of something is always the most exciting for him. And so he wanted to add that kind of a vibe into the track. And also this is the first song off of that album as well. So he is going to be singing it live for us for today. I'm giving him some time to warm up his vocals before he does it. So are you ready, sir?
Yep.
All right, then. Music cue.
시원한 바람 불지 화창한 날씨 밝은 햇빛 쫙 펼쳐진 이 도로 윌 달리지 같이 둘만의 secret party 이미 끝나서 즐길 준비 신나서 커져버린 네 목소리 그 노래를 흥얼거리지 널 담고 있네 눈을 봐 칸에 가득 비친 널 한 번 봐 설레인 듯이 웃고 있잖아 모든 다 가진 것만 같잖아 이젠 서로의 마음을 알아가면 돼 푸른빛 아래서 나 후아후 예쁜 널 보면서 나 후아후 넌 날 가슴 뛰게 만들어 난 내게 영원을 말하고 싶어 예쁘게 웃고 넌 내 가슴 속에 스며들지 지금 이 순간이 영원하길 난 기도하지 시간이 소중하질 뿐이 조각 같지 않게 전하지 가슴이 벅차올라 말할게 널 사랑한다고 푸른빛 아래서 나 후아후 예쁜 널 보면서 나 후아후
오늘 이 시간 날 설레게 하는 너의 미소에 빠져 조금 더 가까이 다가와 말해줘 솔직한 마음을 보여줘
푸른빛 아래서
두 팔을 벌려
예쁜 널 보면서
예쁜 날 보면서
푸른빛 아래서
푸른빛 아래서
예쁜 널 보면서
예쁜 날 보며
푸른빛 아래서 두 팔을 벌려 내 맘을 던져
예쁜 날 보면서
두 팔을 벌려 조금 시간이 걸려
푸른빛 아래서
두 팔을 벌려 망설일 필요는 없어
예쁜 날 보면서
두 팔을 벌려 지금을 떠올려
Wow, bravo. Ladies and gentlemen, that was live. That was not the CD. That was not a play. That was him singing 100% live in the studio. We've got Purple Cryptid in the studio for today. Jenga says, oh my God, I just found him on Spotify and the debut album cover is so pretty. So yeah, all that hard work.
감사합니다.
Yeah. Also, we have one of our listeners saying, this is such a sweet vibe. I can picture myself cruising down the road on a nice summer's day with the wind blowing my hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally like summer drive type of vibes. Aaron is loving the beat and very sweet vocals. Yes, speaking about vocals. So, I've interviewed a lot of artists that have, they are vocal coaches as well. The vocal cords are a muscle. So some artists think of their singing careers as kind of like like voice actors. You know how they change their voice to match a certain style of songs. And then there's certain people who are just born naturally with amazing vocals. So for you, what do you think? Have you worked really hard to create your vocals, or because you have some really sweet vocals?
Thank you for saying that. 그냥 음악 작업을 하면서 그냥 조금씩 계속 맞춰가는 것 같고요. 그 다음에 첫 앨범이랑 지금 최근의 앨범이랑 비교해보면 보컬 스타일도 살짝 달라요. 그리고 앞으로 또 달라질 수도 있다고 생각을 하거든요. 그래서 아직 뭔가 익지 않은 것 같아요. 그래도.
그러니까 뭐 일부러 뭔가를 내 목소리를 이렇게 만들어야지보다는 그냥 자연스럽게 흘러가는 대로 이 노래에 맞는 보컬을 좀 더 포커스를 맞추시는 거죠?
네네, 그런 것도 있고 그 다음에 조금 더 안착이 돼야 될 것 같아요. 제 보컬 스타일도 조금 더 이거다 싶은 거가 뭐 아직은 확실하게 팍 드는 느낌은 없어서. 네.
Okay. So yeah, he says that if you guys notice, if you listen to his first album and now, his vocals have actually kind of changed a little bit. And the reason is because he just hasn't really found his voice yet, he feels. He's just trying to not necessarily match the song, but he's just, as he's working on music, he's kind of letting his voice do whatever it wants to do with the song at hand. And he feels that he's still in the process of creating his own sound. Genre-wise, because you said that the reason why you created your name because you wanted to, kind of take over all the genres. Do you have a specific genre that you really like?
I studied 3 years in America. I went to high school there, so I really
What
didn't.
part of the U.S.?
Philly.
You were in Philly. Wow.
Shout out to my Philly boys out
Yeah,
there.
there we go. That will change, I think, the attitude of this interview quite well. There's a lot of people in my Korean American circle that if you were born and raised in Philly, that Philly pride is intense.
Philly pride, right.
It's intense. Okay, so yeah, back to you were studying 3 years in Philly.
I was listening to. I was raised I was living in Korea most of my years, and then when you live in Korea, you get to listen to a lot of ballad, indie band, something like that. But when I went there, all of my friends were listening to really hard hip hops and then R&Bs. First, I didn't really want to listen to that. I was like, oh, turn it off. It's so loud. But I kind of after listening to a lot of those songs, I kind of like it.
Okay.
So now I like R&B and hip hop more than any genre. So,
wow.
But I really listen to a lot of pop music.
Okay.
Also, yeah.
So you listen to a lot of different genres all around, which is, there is a little bit in your songs, but your songs are very soft compared to the genre that you like.
Well, I'm an emo kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I cry a lot. So I think that kind of comes out of my music.
Okay, that also comes out too. Yeah. So with every singer-songwriter, any producer out there who makes a song, even though the songs, the 30 plus songs that you feel are just very cringe, they're all your babies, right? And it's really hard to choose a favorite.
Right.
But today, the last day of August, this 2023, as of today, if you were to name one song that is kind of as of now, still your favorite?
I guess, can I pick two?
Of course.
One Autumn Leaves and one Hyuga.
Hyuga. The last song we're going to listen today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the two songs that I like the most, I guess.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in the recording process, I've noticed that some singer-songwriters direct themselves. They'll just have an engineer outside and they will do the directing. And then some need their producer or another engineer to direct them, kind of help them get another opinion. How do you record?
일단은 제가 전부 다 스케치를 다 하고 그 다음에 그 형이랑 같이 작업을 만들어 나가는 방식으로 하는 것 같아요.
Okay.
네, 그래서 뭐 후자의 얘기일 것 같아요. 네.
Okay, so having other people kind of help you out.
Right. But I'm trying to lessen that point, 저한테 피드백 주는 걸 최소한 시키고 제가 더 많이 이제 어필하려고 하는 그런 노력들을 많이 하고 있는 것 같아요.
Okay. So yeah, he'll give the rough sketch first. He'll kind of do the song and then he'll get feedback. He'll do a little bit more recording. So normally, for like idols and for other artists or songs that artists that get, sometimes they'll have like a pre-recording session and then they'll have the 본녹음, like the actual recording session. Do you do that as well?
No.
Okay. So any recording is going to be 본녹음.
Right.
Okay.
Just choosing the best out of it.
Okay, just choosing the best out of those. Yeah, because I've noticed that some artists, like they might save a lot of the like not official recording days, but I do know that some artists need that like, oh, today is like the official recording day to like bring their 100% into the album. Have you ever been fixated on certain syllables as you've written songs? 왜 그러니까 가사나 곡 쓰시는 분들이 간혹 그 처리를 하기 위한 편안한 그런 발음들 있잖아요. 그 발음들을 좀 뭔가를 맞추기 위해서 가사를 고민을 엄청 많이 하시는 분들이 있더라고요. 그쵸. 지금까지 작업하신 것 중에 혹시 이 노래는 사실 원래 가사가 이거였는데 작업을 하다 보니까 도저히 이 가사로 내가 노래를 못 부르겠는 거예요. 음이 안 나와서. 그래서 가사를 여러 개를 바꿔서 한 적이 있어요. 이런 게 혹시 있었을까요?
가사가 안 떠오르는 것들이 참 많았던 것 같아요. 그러니까 이 음절이어야 되는데 예를 들어서 이어야 되는데 정말 안 떠오르는.
그쵸.
그게 이제 저의 이번 앨범의 5번 트랙이 차에 올라타라고 있는데 그 차에 올라타 따라라라따 약간 그 부분이
계속 생각이
너무 안 나오는 거예요. 그래서 어디까지 갔냐면 기름값 비싸까지 갔거든요. 차에 올라타 기름값 비싸
이런 식으로
너무 안 나오니까 진짜 그냥 이거 그냥 낼까 말. 내 아티스트 프라이드 다 버리고 I don't know. Just release it. 오일 쇼크 막 이런 할까 하다가 그냥 영어로 썼어요. 그냥 I see you where 차 이렇게 결국엔 됐는데 너무 안 나오더라고요. 그런 경우가 참 많죠.
Okay. Yeah, this happens. All right. So apparently for 퍼플크립티드, he said that recently on his 5th track of the album, he had the melody and he had the first line, but he just couldn't figure out what he wanted it to be. And like he was trying to think of like it had to kind of rhyme a little bit, but it also had to make sense. And he wrote so many different lines. It went all the way to like, gas prices are expensive. Like that's the line that he was saying, which is true universally at the moment. But he was just like, no, it's like he was to the breaking point where it's just like, do I just release it? Like, do I give up the true artist in me and just release this gibberish type of a line in the song? And he ended up finding a perfect English lyric for it. But yeah, it happens, which I feel that for any singer-songwriter, because like, you know, it's not so much a writer's block. It's like, it's the striving to have it better.
Right.
그러니까 뭔가 막혀서가 아니라 좀 더 좋은 게 있을 것 같아서 이제 사람이 미치는 거죠.
그렇죠. 그래서 결국에 안 나와서 뭐 나오는 것도 있었던
그렇죠.
것 같아요. 네. 그리고 뭐 작사가 분들 정말 그냥 아티스트라고 생각을 하거든요. 왜냐하면
그럼요.
작사가 분들 그냥 글을 쓰는 게 아니라
그렇죠.
그 음절에 정확하게 맞추는
그렇죠.
거다 보니까 같이 음악을 하고 있는.
그렇죠.
그래서 뭔가 좀 더 리스펙이 생기더라고요.
이런 발음들 때문에 진짜 막 이거랑 말은 되게 또 단어도 선택을 해야 되고 이러니까 그 쉽지 않더라고요. So he was saying that he feels that lyricists are also artists as well because they have to think about like, you know, the pronunciation. They have to think about like, you know, how many syllables are going to be in there, especially how many notes are going to be in there too. They also have to consider like how high the singer is singing because that has to be a certain vowel or whatnot that they use to do that too. So it's definitely Jenga, gas prices are definitely expensive these days. Very relatable. Talking about the most random things here on the show.
I was having a hard time. I mean,
yeah, of course. Gas prices are expensive these days. So you were talking about a vacation earlier, and I'm like, even with the last song and even our next song that's going to be coming up too, there's a lot of talk about vacation. So I want to ask, since, you know, autumn is upon us, did you get a chance to go anywhere this past summer?
No, not really.
You were in the studio?
No. Like artists like me on their rookie stage kind of have to earn money to do music, right?
True.
Yeah, so I was working.
Oh.
Yeah. No time to go on a vacation.
Do you mind if we ask what you do as a like job? Or do you want to just skip that question?
Well, I do a lot of things.
Okay.
Tutoring.
Oh.
I do tutoring, and then I actually work as a marketer also.
Well, you're like all over the place.
I mean, this is
No, you would do. I can see it in you though. You would do a really good job.
Well, thank you for saying that. But I mean, this is like another strong motivation for me to focus just on music because like if you do like I feel like if you do a little bit of everything, I think there's always each community that underestimates you.
That's true.
Yeah, and I don't really give to other communities, but when it comes to music, it's kind of different.
Right.
So I don't want to feel out of the loop or something.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, that's another strong motivation. So right now, I just want to just focus
On music.
on music.
Okay. Well, the weather is getting better. And, you know, you did debut right when the pandemic hit. So busking was kind of out of the question. But now that the platforms are opening up again, is this something that you would be interested in doing?
Yeah, certainly. I think this was another great chance to actually know and actually practice my life skills. And I think those kind of opportunities will make me help grow my life skills.
Okay.
So
Okay.
performance skills.
Okay. One of our listeners was saying that, oh wow, I never thought that the lyricist would have to think about that, or the artist would have to think about that for lyrics when they're writing them. Yeah, that is something you never really realize. Also, I think that our artist today, 퍼플크립티드, probably knows this too. Have you ever found yourself repeating words that you never knew you repeated when you write lyrics? 가사 쓰다 보면 뭔가 나도 모르게 반복되는 단어들 있지 않아요?
있는 것 같아요. 예를 들어서 있었던 것 같은데.
그러니까 초반에, 특히 초반에 나도 모르게
있어요.
꼭 이런 단어를
있어요.
자주 쓰는 것 같아요. 초반에는.
초반에 지금도 쓰고 있는 것 같은데.
근데 맞아요. 그게
네.
나도 모르게 뭔가 이게 잘 어울릴 것 같아. 딱 썼는데 잠깐만. 1절을 이미 2번 썼는데 약간 이런 느낌의 단어들이 있는 것 같아요.
그 노래마다 이번 앨범에 이따가 부를 노래에도 들어간 건데 품이란 단어를 많이 쓰는 것 같아요. 품, 너의 품. 네. 근데 모르고 쓴다고 하셨잖아요. 근데 저는 알고도 그냥 이 곡에는 없으니까 품.
아직 없어. 하나 정도는 넣어도 돼.
아무도 모를 거야.
이제 앞으로 알 텐데. Okay, so
지워야지.
anybody who listens to today's interview is going to know. So I've been noticing that even when I write lyrics, sometimes I unintentionally write similar lyrics or similar phrases without knowing it. Our artist, 퍼플크립티드, is like, no, I know I'm writing the same word. He says he likes to use the word 품 a lot. And he knows he's using it, but he'll be like, it's not in the song yet. So he's going to add it into the song. Right.
Because I like the warmth of that.
Right.
Word.
And it's really easy to sing too. It's easy to sing and, enunciate and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, it's fine. So now that we're talking about, vacations and stuff like that, we have 바다여행, Seaside vacation that you are going to be singing for us next. Where did the inspiration for this song come out?
As I said, I kind of I write songs and write lyrics on my own experience. So it's pretty much my own experience, I guess. But the whole album is all about my story. So the inspiration comes by my own experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you some time to drink some water, get ready for the live performance as well. So for those of you who are just joining us, we have the fantastically talented 퍼플크립티드 in the studio for today. And we've been laughing and talking about how he creates music and his music journey in general. And we are going to get a chance to have another quick live performance. 바다여행 is the track, Seaside Vacation. And he's warming up his vocals, which I think we can now. Are we ready?
Yep.
All right, then. Music cue.
설레서 잠을 못 자 온종일 들떠있어 좋은 추억들 남기고파 너의 모든 그 순간들과 내 왼쪽 어깨 내줘 그럼 넌 내 손 잡고 행복해 보인 너의 모습에 난 더 크게 네 소리를 짓게 돼 yeah. 저 바다 앞에서 둘만의 사진을 찍어 은근 닮은 우리 모습에 너와 난 비식거리게 돼 기분은 하늘을 날아 너와 함께라면 어떤 날이라도 날 특별하게 만들어줘 저 구름 위를 건너 저 바람이 날 안겨 지금 이 바다 네가 바꿔준 색감을 느껴봐 모든 걱정을 던져 곁에서 머물러줘 하늘도 이쁜 걸 네 덕분인 것 같아 너와의 이 시간 이 순간을 붙잡아줘 너와 저 바다 참 닮은 것이 많은 것 같아 사실 널 너무 보고 싶었었다고 오늘이 가도 잊어버리지 못할 거야 눈부신 너와 이 순간 문득 네가 너무 고마워 날 이해해주는 모습 날 특별하게 만드는 너의 세심한 행동들에 우리 앞에서 놓아진 꽃길에 끝을 놓아볼 수 있다면 난 더 바랄 게 없을 것 같아 평생 네 곁에 머물게 날 온전히 바라볼 때 네 맘이 전해지는 것 같아 늘 대답해 후회 없이 너란 선택을 해 잠시라도 떨어지면 머릿속에 너로 가득해 모든 게 힘들 땐 내게 기대면 돼이 맘은 이제 내게 맡기면 돼 소중하게 갖고 나갈게 절대 시들지
시원한 파도 위에서 누워
바라보는 푸른 하늘과 날 이끌었던 너의 품 안에서 난 같은 느낌을 가득 느껴 너와 저 바다 참 닮은 것이 많은 것 같아 사실 널 너무 보고 싶었었다고 오늘이 가도 잊어버리지 못할 거야 눈부신 너와 이 순간 모래 위에 새겨진 흔적들 우리 둘의 이름 모두 지워지겠지만 언제라도 맘만은 그대로 변치 말고 이대로만 우리 영원히 함께
Ooh, bravo! All right, we got Purple Cryptid in the studio, and everybody is loving the vibes. Samantha from Dananda saying, loving the vibes of the song. Aaron saying, super sweet vocals, getting lost in the melodies. And also, my head is bobbing along to the beat. So, just to put it out there, the most recent album that you released was Drive. I think it was released kind of with the perfect timing, as it was, perfect for like the summer vacational time as well. How long did it take to put the album together?
한 1년 반 정도 걸린 것 같아요.
Really?
Yeah. Because I told you I eliminate a lot of songs,
yeah.
and then I wanted, because I had the concept of Drive at like when I was starting music.
Okay.
And then I wrote a lot of songs, and then I kind of try to pick the songs that match with this concept of album. So
Okay.
it took 1.5 years.
Wow. Long time coming. I know you probably never timed it, but out of all the songs that you made up until now, even the ones that you don't like, what took the longest? Like from start to finish? Like maybe you had the melody, but like the beat just never came to be, or like you just had the first verse and like the rest of the song just never came out, or the longest it took you to make a song?
I think half year, because I make a lot of songs at the same time.
Oh.
I don't just write one song and then I'll finish and then next song. So I
Ooh.
do a lot of songs and then I sketch a lot of songs.
Wow.
Yeah, so the longest, I think 6 months maybe.
Wow,
Yeah.
from start to finish.
Right. Because it gives you kind of a refreshment. So
Okay. Wow. Have you ever scratched one before you even like continued? Like, so you started it, you know, had like maybe the melody for the whole song, and then you went back to like 6 months later, you're like, oh.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I remember this. 잠에서, you know, when there's like some moments that you had like the perfect melody line.
Right.
While you're dreaming.
Right.
일어나자마자 음성 메모 딱 켜고 하고 듣지도 않고 이거는 진짜 너무 대박이니까 딱 이제 그 형한테 가가지고 저랑 같이 음악하는 형한테 가서 이거 들어보라고. 근데 같이 듣는데 그 리액션이 둘 다
What is it?
이런 걸 갖고 온 거야? 그래서
What is this?
Yeah, what is this? 그래서 예, 뭐 최근에도 그런 거 많고요. 정말 많죠 그런 거.
Okay, so yeah, he says that there will be times where he'll have a dream and it's like, oh my god, this is the melody. This is like the melody that everybody's gonna love. And so he'll wake up, he'll like start recording it into his voice memo, and then he'll go to the studio, he'll sit down with the producer, and like they'll start listening together. Like, yeah, this is a great melody. And then they're like, what is this? But apparently this is more than once. But it happens. There are times where he will go back and he will definitely cringe on some things that he looked at that he did. So we were talking about how beautiful all of the covers of your album are. Did the cover for the recent Drive album have a lot of, did it take a year and a half to put together too? Or was that something that came out a little bit faster?
앨범 커버하기. 그거는 생각하는데 한 2, 3주 걸린 것 같아요. 네, 아이디어만 생각하는데. 근데 나오기까지는 그래도 몇 달 걸렸던 것 같아요. 왜냐하면 작가님한테 계속 귀찮게 막 수정사항 이것 좀 해달라 저것 좀 해달라 이렇게 해가지고 결국에는 한두 달 정도 걸린 것 같아요.
Okay. So yeah, it didn't take him too long to come up with the concept of the jacket or the album cover, but once like he was starting to like talk with the illustrator, they were like, there's a little bit of back and forth. Like, can we change this? Can we change that? Can we add this? Can we add that? And so it took a few months to kind of get it out from start to finish. So, I mean, obviously today is the start of many, many, many broadcasts to come. And I like to ask this to all my artists because I feel that, you know, as a singer, you know, as for like a lawyer, if you ask them like your ultimate goal as a lawyer, they might be like signing with a certain firm. I feel that for a singer, standing on a particular stage or doing a particular type of tour would be kind of like that ultimate goal in a way. And for some, it might be like a domestic tour, or like if they're not from Seoul, like going back to like their hometown and performing for like their neighborhood, or doing a world tour, or doing like club tours, or, you know, doing like bar tours, whatever it may be. Is there like an ultimate stage or tour that you would like to do? Like Wimbledon Stadium. I don't know. Just some like dream big.
2달 전에 워터밤을 갔는데 그 핫한 여성분들이 너무 많더라고요. 그래서 그런 난생처럼 그런 기분을 느껴보면서 딱 이제 이거다. 여기가 그 드림 스테이지여야 된다. 이렇게 생각이 뭐 잠깐 들었지만 뭐 한 진단만 80%고요.
아니에요.
근데 아니 사실은 제일 하고 싶은 거는 진짜 드림은 음감회로 하고 싶어요. 음감회 스테이지보다도. 그러니까 예를 들어서 제 이제 뭐 앞으로 EP 같은 거 나올 거잖아요. 계속 앨범이 나올 텐데 지금 저를 알아봐 주시는 그런 팬들이 뭐 적게 있잖아요. 근데 그런 분들 모시고 그 다음에 저를 응원해 주신 모여서 이제 뭐 캐주얼하게 커피 대접해 드리면서 이 곡 막 설명해 드리면서 그런 음감회를 한번 하면 어떨까?
Okay.
그게 제일 큰 지금 현재로서는 꿈인 것 같아요.
Okay, so he has 2 dreams. I feel that both of them are very realistic, even though he's kind of embarrassed about the first one. So he went to Waterbomb a couple months ago. Actually, just a couple weeks ago. And it was the first time he'd ever been there. First time experiencing Waterbomb in general. He's like, that's the kind of stage I want to be on. And so, I mean, you never know. We might be getting a chance to have him on Waterbomb later down. You never say never. But also another one is he would kind of have like, not like more of a sit down kind of a talk concert about his album. So like, let's say he released like Drive. He would be able to like grab a handful of his fans and followers, have them like, you know, come to listen to hear him sing, but also he can talk about his album, kind of give them the behind the scenes about it as well. well. So kind of like an album concert or like a comeback concert would be something that he really would do, so that he can kind of have that connection with his listeners in the future as well, which I think is actually quite a fun dream to have. So as the year is rolling down, and the year is already kind of, it started off on a great start. You have your very first broadcast for today. Is there any goals that you would like to have done before 2023 is over? 저 올해 얼마 안 남아서.
그러니까요. 뭐 계획 잡기도 좀 애매한 것 같긴 한데.
아니에요. 그래도 그렇게 따져보면 그래도 4달이 다 남았어요. 그래서 4개월이 다 남았으니까 이 4개월 안에는 그래도 이거 정도는 하나 더 하고 싶다 하는 게 있을까요?
그냥 개인적으로 노래 조금 더 만들고 싶고 한 2곡 정도는 더 만들고 싶은데 그냥
내기까지? 아니면
만들기까지.
네, 그러니까 완곡하기까지.
과한 욕심이라고 생각을 해요. 왜냐하면 4달 안에 2곡 완성까지. 저는
본인의 프로세스로는 조금 무리일 수도 있다?
그러니까 만족할 만한 곡이 나오기까지가 보통 3달 걸리더라고요. 그리고 그게 3달 걸린 게 조금 반응들이 좋더라고요. 예를 들어서 그 사클의 이제 그 눈이 내리면이라는 곡이 좀 되게 트렌딩 됐는데 그것도 딱 3개월 걸렸고 Autumn Leaves도 딱 3개월이 걸렸었어요. 그 릴리스까지 만들고 이제 그것까지. 그래서 2곡이라고 하면 저는 개인적으로 욕심이라고는 생각이 드는 이유예요. 그래서.
Okay. So he was like, yeah, to finish 2 songs. And I was like, and release them? He said, no, just to finish them. And I was like, why? He was like, well, just a lot of the songs that people have really liked, like Autumn Leaves, and also another one is 눈이 내리면. He realized that those songs took about 3 months, and those songs that take about 3 months is like, he feels is like his finishing process of like a song that really comes together like really well from start to finish. So for him to release, or not even release, but just finish 2 songs within the next 4 months would be something that would be a really big accomplishment for him, just in the time frame realistically from then. I mean, obviously after this interview is aired and a lot of people might see it and whatnot, if there is calls for like a mini concert or like busking events and stuff like that, would that also be a possibility if the
definitely
if the opportunity was presented? Okay, definitely. All of our 관계자s out there, all the PDs and stuff.
울프 갱 오브 스트리트 영화 보셨나요?
Yeah.
그 조나 힐이 리오나르도 디카프리오한테 이제 너의 그 잔액을 보여주면은 나 일 당장 관둔다 해서 보여주니까 당장 관두잖아요. 똑같이 하겠습니다. You sign me? Okay. I quit. Call me.
Wolves of Wall Street. That one scene where he's just like, show me a price that I can quit on. And DiCaprio's like, here's the price. And he quits.
Do the exact same. Yeah.
Cryptid is, if anybody's out there who's willing to give him a price for like performances so that he can drop his job just to do music 100%, he's willing to do that. Cryptid, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today. Hopefully this is a start to many more to come. As we say goodbye for today, the last track that he's chosen for us to enjoy is Time Off Hyuga. Enjoy this track and we will hopefully see you next time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Bye.